Eggs. How many times can we say the word eggs before it loses all meaning? Well, what can really be said about eggs that hasn't been said already? We all have them. Well, not all of us, but welcome to another episode of Paleo No She Didn't, the show where I take food and make it paleo. Magic. Let's talk about eggs. Eggs are one of the best foods that you can eat. Now, I'm no nutritionist, but they're a great source of protein. They're full of nutrients, I think. Let's just assume. Eggs are ubiquitous with breakfast. Like, if people think about wanting breakfast in the morning, for the most part, they're thinking about eggs. Unless you're vegan, in which case, it must be like seeds or something. Seeds. Whether it's fried, poached, scrambled, you want eggs. When I was growing up, one of the only ways that I would ever eat eggs was scrambled. Let's face it, scrambled eggs and eggs in general after a while can get pretty ding dang dong boring. So this past weekend, we were visiting some friends in Kansas City, and my friend Jen made the most delicious scrambled eggs a la Francaise. Sound familiar? Jen was making Countess Luann's famous eggs a la Francaise. And they were so good. Like, they were just scrambled eggs, but they were light and fluffy and creamy and had this small, like, coagulation. Is that an appetizing word? I asked her for the recipe, and I mean, it mostly comes down to technique. If you own a frying pan and a whisk, then you too can make these delicious, fluffy, creamy eggs a la Francaise. They're fucking scrambled eggs. They're just really good scrambled eggs. In a bowl, crack your eggs. I've got 3. I'm just making some eggs for myself. Shit! How did I already get shell in here? If you get any shell into your eggs as you're cracking them, here's a fun trick if you didn't already know. You use the shell itself, use one of the hard, not broken edges and scoop it out of there, and it cuts right through the, what's the word? It's like gelatinous tissue. You hungry yet? What is a little bit different here, at least in my experience for these eggs, is that instead of just straight whisking them, or maybe even adding like milk or cream if you're into that kind of thing, you actually add water. Now, this seems like a trick that poor people would use, but I'm up for it. I'm no scientist, guys, but I think the reason you would want to add water is because when the eggs start to slowly cook, it releases just enough steam to make sure that the eggs stay really moist and soft and fluffy, but that's just a guess. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon or 2 to each egg that I have in here. Shit, what is with me getting a small bowl every fucking time? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the heat up to about a medium high. I want the pan to get pretty hot to start, and I'm gonna add about, but not quite, a tablespoon of butter. Use unsalted butter. Y'all should be using unsalted butter for basically everything that you make, particularly baked goods. You want to be able to control the amount of salt. I mean, salted butter is delicious, don't get me wrong. If you're gonna eat butter on something directly, like toast or your hand, then yes, salted is fine. The trick to this scrambled egg preparation is slow and low. You do not want to cook your scrambled eggs too fast. Well, just waiting for my butter to melt. So. How about that football? Right? That's a thing. Football's happening, isn't it? Oh good, the butter's melted. This is a good time now to turn the heat down, and I'm gonna turn it to a low medium, somewhere in the middle. I'm actually going to remove my pan from my heat to start. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add the scrambled eggs, the whisked eggs, and I'm going to continually whisk them for however long it actually takes to get them cooked. Fuck, you know what I didn't do is I didn't add salt to these. I'm gonna do that now. It's always good to salt your eggs before you are finished cooking them. You can always add more salt after, but you know, this is just better. So now I'm gonna put it back on the heat, and remember, it's very low, and I'm just going to continue to whisk them in the pan until they start to coagulate, and they'll form really nice, small little egg scrambles. So my eggs look pretty good. Oh yeah. I'm going to add a little Parmesan Reggiano. This is all to taste, but this is nice. It's got a little bit of that salty flavor. I'm also going to add some chives, because I fucking like chives, you know? And of course, a little bit of freshly cracked pepper. Let's fucking eat, man. Oh shit, I should turn off my burner. We're done cooking. Let's eat this. Oh. What? It's like risotto, almost. Creamy. I really don't have much else to say to you people, because I'm gonna eat this. Oh. Thanks for watching this episode of Paleo No She Didn't. And remember, girl, yes I did. Fuck. I'm carrying some eggs right now in my own basket. So that's a reference to my uterus.